Hello, my friends, and welcome to a special episode of The Chest of Obscurity. For those who have never heard of the series called Ultraman, this is the Super Nintendo version based off the arcade version brought to us by Banpresto. And the arcade version was based off Banpresto's version. So this is called Ultraman-Towards the Future, and how symbolic it is that after 55 years, this series, just like with Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, along with Metal Heroes, Metal Heroes haven't reached that far in the future, but they have been around since the 70s. Ultraman is one of those series that has been around since the 60s. Ultraman is also considered as a kyodai hero, otherwise known as a hero of brothers. It is also a kyojin hero, which is a giant hero. Just like there is Daikaiju, there is kyojin. Daikaiju is giant monsters. Kyojin are giants. But in this case, he will be considered Eiyu no Kyojin. So, I've been watching a bit of Ultraman as of late, as well as another series called Mirror Man, which is in the same vein of Ultraman, except that Mirror Man had a bit of a vibe to it, like say it had a bit of a Quinn Martin vibe to it, with Ultraman flavor to it. Pretty much Ultraman has been the bane of giant series for a long time, you know. And like I said, I've been watching a bit of Ultraman as of late. And I do have Ultraman in one of my in my personal collection. Now, Ultraman, believe it or not, is like one of the most inspirational type of heroes to this day. Because it's one of those heroes that basically just says, you know, deep down, no matter what, they just want to do the following. They want to protect the hopes and dreams of all humanity. Those who want to see a better tomorrow. You don't really hear that too much as far as you know, real life concerned. When was the last time we ever heard like heroes that want to protect a smile? You know, the most basic thing. I mean, to me, Ultraman is basically one of those heroes that is pure, honest, and for what the character has always been worth. That's what you really want. You want that coming from, say, a hero as a whole. Like, their own reason for actually protecting, for doing what they do, is to protect the most basic things. The last Ultra series that I've actually watched, and I still have to watch, are, well, Zetol, which is Z, and a new one, which is Trigger. You know, Ultraman Trigger, new generation, next generation Tiga. So I've been watching 3 series. And I have been watching the original Ultraman. And the Japanese version of this is called Ultra 7. Gameplay does remind me of another game that most other people remember, and that's Shadow of the Beast. This is what reminds me of Shadow of the Beast sometimes. Ultraman does remind me of Shadow of the Beast. What I find funny about Ultraman is that I'm being reminded of when I watched back in the day The Masked Rider, Saban's Masked Rider, which was a bastardized version of Kamen Rider Black RX. Saban's Masked Rider. Back when, you know, on our end, we had Power Ranger fever like nobody's business. Because at some point in the 90s, growing on up in the 90s, if you never heard Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, they taken footage from Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, meshed it around with some new footage, and turned it into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The same with other series like B-Fighter, which was over here as Big Bad Beetleborgs and Metallics, which was, you know, B-Fighter and B-Fighter Kabuto? I believe it was B-Fighter Kabuto. They did that with VR Troopers, which was a mishmash of 3 other series. And I think the other one, I feel the other one was they did Ultraman, because I remember they did Ultraman. They did dub Ultraman, Ultra 7, and Ultraman Tiga. Although, you know, growing up, I never did get the chance to watch it because, you know, I've been doing some other stuff. And one thing I remember back in the 90s was when it came out over here. Ultraman was just big, especially on TNT. And every time, it's like the strangest thing is like, I try getting into other stuff, like, say, Mighty Morphin. I was in and out with Power Rangers. Really, it's just like, after Mighty Morphin, I was just in and out with with Power Rangers as a whole. The same can be said about, well, I can't say Kamen Rider, because the only thing I remember about Kamen Rider that I saw over here was, well, there was the following. There was the Masked Rider Sega CD version, which was based off Kamen Rider Zeta Old. He was one of the movie writers. And I think that was it. That was the only bit of information. That was the only bit of influence I have Kamen Rider before I went to the Sci-Fi Comic Book Expo. That used to be downtown LA, now it's over in Hollywood. Now what I remember is like, oh hey, I started watching Ultraman again. Like, started with one of the movies, and then I got a better feel for the series since then. It really is. Like, after watching one of the movies, I got a better feel for the series. Even doing the Compati Hero series, I got a better understanding of each of the series, like Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and aside from Super Robot Tyson. I got a better feel for the series from then on. So I started to get into watching, other series outside of Ultraman and Kamen Rider. The last series I remember watching was the Justivisers. I did watch it for a time and then just eventually stopped. Don't ask why, just, I just stopped. I really didn't think about, like, why was I watching this? It's the same thing with other series I've been watching. Like, even now on YouTube, I watch a bit of Kamen Rider. I've learned to enjoy the show writers a lot more than, say, a bit of the Heisei. mean, I started to understand the series a whole lot more just by watching it for myself. Because yes, I'm one of those kind of people who actually enjoy the series in my own way, not watching it for crowd, but you know. So if they want to watch it, if people want to watch it in a crowd, that's fine. But me, I watched Just Beyond. So that tells you something. I watch a lot of series that seem to not make it over here, but if it does, I'd love to own it. Like, Just Beyond is one of those series I would like to own for myself. So one of these days, I will have the series, because they have it on Amazon. So I might as well just have, like, the box set of the series, just so, oh, hey, I can enjoy it in the comfort of my own home. And I'm not one of the people who like to go into lore all the time. I like to enjoy for what it's worth. Let the lore teach me. I mean, we've seen other versions. We've seen many parodies of Ultraman and the like. I feel, you know, just like with any other place in the world, what we have over here in the U.S. pales in comparison to what people actually idolize in other parts of the world. Like, we can look at Tekken Blade being somewhat of an homage to Ultraman, because he fights under a time limit. He fights under a 30-minute time limit. Then after that, his power just goes out. It's like Ultraman. It's the same way. He works under a time limit. Now we look at it's like we're fighting Godzilla. That's what Kolar reminds me of, Godzilla. Sometimes, you know, I do like a good hero show. That's why I got a lot of anime shows to watch. But I never did get around to doing that. I'm doing a lot of video projects. I don't think we ever see another Ultraman series to ever grace us in the US. And if we do, and by the grace of God, we're blessed if we ever see another Ultraman series come over. I'm just curious about what everybody thinks about Ultraman. I'm not. It's like, I'm curious as to how Ultraman has grown so popular worldwide, but not so far in the US. Well, aside from Marvel doing something about it. I feel comics as a whole they lost sight of what's important. I really do. You want to know why I read manga? Yeah, finally. There's a reason why I prefer manga over comic books. And the only comic book I will ever read to this very day is Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy was the one I grew up with. Aside from Spider-Man, Dick Tracy was the only outside comic. I'll take it back. It's Dick Tracy, Ninja High School, and I think that's it. Just Dick Tracy and Ninja High School is the last couple of is the last time I've ever read, American comics. But oh my god, the only thing I would want out of everything is to finish Yu Yu Hakusho. Because it was my mom who got me into manga. When I was in, let me say this. When I was in Japan, when I was 25, I was living in Japan for a time. I was married, and at the same time, I was going through something in my life. And yet my mom, out of the many care packages she sent me, there was one that had, a manga by the name of Yu Yu Hakusho. And I watched the bit series, but I never read the manga. To this very day, is one of the few things I say I was going to do once everything just like kind of evens itself out, was just get the rest of Yu Yu Hakusho. Just for the sake of it, just having it. I mean, it is one of the most sought after series I ever actually had. So there you go. But as I stated before, Ultraman has a special. I should say this: Ultraman does hold a special place in my heart, just because it is one of the most oldest of series ever known. Still going strong, and yet for what it's worth, it's a fond reminder of what we want to be, what we should be doing as heroes. Bring back the smiles, the light and hope of people. That which makes us good, that which makes us pure, that which gives us hope. And, you know, no matter what happens, we hold on to the hopes and dreams of the future. And Ultraman, in its own right, has been doing that for 55 years, along with many other heroes. So that was Ultraman Towards the Future for the Super Nintendo, brought to us by Bandai before Namco. Before it became Bandai Namco. And the series was brought to us by Tsuburaya, of course. Because without Tsuburaya, we would not know the joy and beauty that is Ultraman. Along with Mirror Man and other notable notables. So with that, join me for something else. Until then, I've been your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi, and this was Ultraman Towards the Future, aka Ultra 7. See you next time for more of the Chest of Obscurity. Comicame edition. Fight on for everlasting peace!